Dear ones, before we move into our discussion about the energies for June, I would like to share with you a few things that occurred in your month of May 2021. There has been progress made in the galactic realms. You are not seeing this fully on your planet Earth yet. However, the energies have shifted to a significant degree where the light has more effect. The light is always powerful, but what you are experiencing now is an effectiveness of the light on planet Earth and the ways that this may be showing up in your own life or in the collective energy is that your desires, your intentions for humanity to awaken are taking effect. More and more humans are beginning to embody the higher frequencies, and they are experiencing in their own way an awakening process, an ascension process for some. The energies of light that have been streaming to your planet have been very effective in illuminating much of the shadow. And so you are starting to see just a bit more disclosure within mainstream media. You are starting to see people questioning the narrative that has been running. What is very interesting in the collective energy is that even though this is occurring, many are not noticing that this is occurring. And so as the narrative changes, many are not consciously aware of the changing narrative. But those of you who are alerted to this have been able to witness that the narrative has been changing in some regards, and you are noticing these subtle shifts, but others are not. And so it is, from my perspective, an interesting phenomenon that occurs within humanity. The collective thought shifts, but individuals do not recognize this collective thought shift. All this to say, dear ones, that things are moving in a positive direction. Now, you may ask about how this is possible if people are talking about a certain type of passport, if you have the shot or not, and further division being created around if you have received your shots or not. This is all very much at the hologram level, meaning that it is a type of, I will use the word theater, it is a type of illusion that is being perpetuated into the collective thought consciousness of humanity. But there is much to this that is not real. And so those of you who are operating at much higher frequencies can feel that these threats or these suggestions or ideas do not have real effect in the third dimensional world or reality. Now, yes, in some places around the world, it does appear much more real than in other places. And this has to do with the density or frequency of the collective energy in these places. And so if you are living in one of these places where it is threatened that you cannot travel, for example, if you do not have documentation of receiving a shot, then it is very important that you continue to hold the 5D frequencies, continue to bring in the fifth dimensional frequencies and above through your body and ground them into planet Earth. And yes, I realize what I am asking is a very large task indeed, but you are very capable. You are very practiced at this now, dear ones. And it is something that you have great capability to do. And so I invite you, dear ones, to continue to do this work for the benefit of humanity and continue to flow your light and the energies of the light into the planetary light grid so that the ley lines are strengthened, so that the light grid is strengthened around the globe. And in this way, as hearts collaborate, the frequencies and energies for the collective thought consciousness will continue to increase. And this is another meaning when I say that the energies or the light has taken effect. Many more have joined in to contribute to the light grid around planet Earth and within the collective energy. And so the frequencies there are continuing to rise. And again, dear ones, please understand that as the frequencies rise, as the light illuminates, more shadow is exposed. And this is an uncomfortable process. This does not feel good. This appears chaotic at times. It often appears as if things are getting worse, but I assure you, dear ones, that things are going in the proper direction as the light illuminates. And so there is nothing to fear and everything to gain. The momentum now is in place. And so as you continue to flow the light, to anchor the light, to embody the light, the momentum continues to increase for ascension of planet Earth and humanity, and for the awakening of the collective energy. And so I thank you, dear ones, for all the efforts that you have put forth in this regard. I know that for some of you, it has taken a toll on your energy levels, it has taken a toll on your physical bodies, but the benefit of flowing the light is also that it heals your body at the same time. And so even though you may have felt tired, and even though you may have experienced many physical symptoms in your body, it is partially because your body is healing simultaneously as you provide this service. And so I thank you, dear ones. We will now move into the energies of June. I have 3 words for you, dear ones: shift, shift, shift. The energies of June are very potent. The energies will be very rapid, meaning the shifts that occur in June will be very fast paced, very quick, very rapid. They may at some times feel up and down. You may feel like you are riding a roller coaster. I invite you, dear ones, to do your best to ride the waves, so to speak, and have full confidence that as the roller coaster energies move up and down, that it is moving in a positive direction. It is for the ascension shifts. It is important to note also, dear ones, that you are entering into what you might call eclipse season for the remainder of May. And these eclipses are portals to open the opportunities for the shifts that will occur in June. Now, the shifts that occur in June will be largely energetic, and they will also take effect in some physical ways as well. Physically, for the health of your bodies, you have the opportunity to create quantum leaps in your health. Physically, also within your governments and financial systems, there are opportunities for quantum leaps into the light in these areas as well. Now, I say opportunities because the timelines are not fully set, and it does also depend on the collective energy and choice of the collective, what will occur. But there are potentials for very significant changes within your governments globally and within your financial systems globally. No matter what happens, dear ones, I invite you to stay grounded, to stay confident that this is all of the light. If you see things falling apart, if you see things rearranging, if you see things moving up and down, such as in cryptocurrency markets, for example, whatever you see occurring, dear ones, understand that all that is happening is moving into fuller illumination. More and more people will begin to see how markets are manipulated in the financial realm, for example. More and more people will begin to see how they have been manipulated by government, how politics manipulate collective thought. More and more of this is being revealed and exposed. Again, in the collective thought, what you may see is people seeing this as normal, as if it always existed this way. In other words, if there is a large piece of disclosure, it will not be so shocking. And the collective will see this as, oh, yes, this is part of our normal existence. The reason it is occurring this way is because humanity is given much help to integrate the new frequencies and energies. The work that you have been doing to assist humanity in this regard is working. And this is why people will not be so much in shock. And this is good news, dear ones, because we do not want to see people move into psychosis or overwhelm. Now, some will experience this, yes. Some who have not been willing consciously or subconsciously to receive and integrate the new frequencies. They may go into shock. They may experience psychosis. They may experience significant physical illness or even death. But for many in the collective, it will seem matter of fact. And this is a testament to the work that many of you have been doing to assist humanity to integrate the new frequencies. And so I thank you, dear ones.
As you mentioned, the upcoming moon eclipse now on Wednesday. I just looked at my calendar. In June, there is a solar eclipse. What will, or can you say us about the solstice coming up on the 20th?
We discussed the May 26th portal in a recent conversation. So I will move on to the solstice energies. This is a massive opportunity for expansion and grounding the expansion simultaneously. Sometimes when expansive energies come in, they are difficult to ground, they are difficult to integrate. But because so many of you have created templates for integration and grounding, there will be an exceptional opportunity to immediately ground the expansive energies that come in at this time. Some of you, those especially who are sensitive to feeling energies, on this day and in the week or so surrounding the solstice, meaning the 3 days before, the 3 days following, may feel dizziness. You may feel a bit of nausea. For those of you who feel this, I invite you to get your bodies on the ground as close to earth as possible, because these frequencies are moving through you so powerfully that you are feeling the spinning. You are feeling the spirals of time collapse and integrate within your very being. The energies of the solstice have much to do with the collapsing of time, and that is why you will feel such expansion. Many time spirals will move through human bodies to collapse timelines for the ascension of planet Earth and for humanity. This is very significant, dear ones. This is a very big deal. I invite you during this time to set aside some time, some energy, some bandwidth, if you will, to work with these frequencies. For the more of you that can integrate and ground and anchor these frequencies, the more old timelines can be collapsed and the new can emerge, the more expansion there can be. For those of you who are new to using your human bodies in this way to integrate and ground the energies, I do invite you to be sure to be hydrated, to eat the food that works for you. For some, it will be lighter foods, staying away from sugar and alcohol. For some, it will be heavier foods, such as animal proteins, to help your body ground and assist with the frequencies. Listen to your own body's wisdom about what you should eat during these times, because your body will have a very specific way to deal with these energies, and it will be different for all. And it is important that you honor your own body, not what someone else has told you to do. And it may be different than what you are used to, because these energies will be so different. Many rainbow energies will be spiraling in. I have spoken before about streams of energy. And you can visualize this as a rain coming down or as a ray of light penetrating the planet. But for the solstice, I am speaking of spirals of energy, because these spirals bring much expansion. The energy is not as direct as a stream. And so it will, for some of you, especially those of you who are new, it will take more work, more concentrated effort to integrate the spirals of energy. But the spirals bring greater expansion as well. This is a very, very important time on planet Earth, your solstice in June of 2021. So I invite you, dear ones, to take this very seriously, to make sure that you are grounded on this day and the days surrounding. Be extra aware when you are driving. If you are a pedestrian crossing the street, be extra aware. These energies will be confusing for some. They will be ungrounding for some. And so it is important that you are extra alert in your environment and with your surroundings. And you may choose to stay home this day to keep yourself safe, because these energies will impact the human body. Absolutely, without question. They will have an impact on all human forms.
I was wondering if the spiral was the reason that things will seem normal to the masses instead of direct line. Is it because of a spiral energy?
This is slightly part of it, but for the most part, it is because you have been receiving galactic help to integrate the frequencies and to integrate the illumination process. There are many benevolent galactic beings that are assisting humanity at this time, and assisting at a level that is almost physical, as they are assisting human bodies to integrate their light forms. And in this integration of the light body with the physical human body, the galactic help is almost at a physical level. I would invite you, dear ones, to take a moment to offer your gratitude to these beings, to open your hearts to these beings, for they have been very generous and benevolent in their assistance to you. And those especially who have opted to be of service at this time, whether consciously or subconsciously, you are receiving extra assistance. Because, as I said, these energies are affecting the human body. And sometimes you feel tired, and sometimes you feel dizzy, or have other physical symptoms that are difficult to deal with. In these moments, dear ones, when you feel these physical symptoms, you can ask your galactic families to assist you. You all have connections to your star brothers and sisters, whether you feel it or recognize it. You all have connections, and you can ask them for assistance.
Yesterday, I listened to a YouTube video. This woman, very beautiful woman, her name's Allison Coe, and she does the QHHT, hypnotizing people and talking to their higher self to do healings and past life, and sometimes they look into the future. And a few things that she's done over the years, really big future events, and they give a date and it never seems to happen. But this one, I was really curious about because it sounded so beautiful. They were talking about next year, next summer. The energy's coming in so strongly to the point where ships had to come and people will assist other people to get on the ships because the energy may be too strong for some people that haven't awakened yet. And the people on Earth that are awakened and the galactics will build crystal cities. And when the energy's finished, they're going to bring everybody back and everybody will be awakened and go into the crystal cities and repair the oceans and Mother Earth. And it sounded so beautiful. But I'm wondering, with these things, is the higher self, is it wishful thinking of the higher self that's speaking this, or is it actual timelines that could be a possibility? Thank you.
Thank you, dear one. These are creations of the 5D, 6D, 7-dimensional frequencies, meaning that these creations are very real, and in order for them to show up in your third dimension on planet Earth, they need to be grounded and anchored in. And so, as we have spoken before, the way that this could occur, the way that this timeline could emerge, is if the collective energy agrees to these creations and says, yes, we want to participate. And this could be a conscious agreement or subconscious agreement. And so it is not that these creations are fake. These creations are very real, and they could occur next summer, or they could occur in a different timeline that would be more aligned to the collective agreement. And so if you wish to see this timeline emerge, it is important that more people know about it so that they can come to conscious agreement or not. As we have discussed before, the problem or the trouble, if you will, with creations like this is if there are only a few beings setting forth these creations, they are not likely to manifest in the third dimension. But if there are many beings with conscious or subconscious agreement, then they are much more likely to land or anchor into the third dimension.
In the winter time, I took a few pictures from the sun reflections on the snow. About a week ago, when I looked out of my bathroom window, I saw some sun reflections on the grass. I took some pictures and a short video clip. In the video clip, it was really sparking when I looked at it. It looks almost like a fireworks shell exploding with nice sparks to the, maybe I counted over 20 and so, nice symmetric. Normally I would say it's just a reflection from the sun, but is there more behind it, like from other dimensions or with those energies coming in, that I was able to see that?
Yes, dear one, what you are seeing is a reflection of multi-dimensional light that has arrived to planet Earth. You are capturing this on your camera. The multidimensionality is showing up in these sacred geometries, the rainbow energies. It is showing you that there is much more than what you sometimes see or feel. And you are being affected by multidimensional energies, as are all humans. And this is a photographic reflection of this, that you are able to capture some of the multidimensionality of the light energies that are coming to planet Earth.
There's supposed to be, the government and the Pentagon are supposed to have full disclosure about UFOs. They've been, as you know, they've been trickling all these little videos that are on radar. This particular thing in June, is that going to be definitive evidence that we are not alone for the masses? Thank you.
While it is possible that this can occur in June, the alignments are not yet strong enough for this to be a possibility greater than 60%. In other words, there is a small likelihood that this could happen, but it is not likely that it will happen in June of 2021. Yes, it is very likely that there will be further disclosure and more talk and more videos and things of this nature. But the full disclosure is not yet likely for June. That said, humanity is being prepared. And as I have spoken of earlier, some things that would have been shocking before will now be matter of fact. This is one of them, but there is still work to be done within the collective consciousness of humanity to prepare them for such a depth of disclosure.
If there are to be future disclosures exposing the darks, how will this information reach the masses when the mainstream media has been compromised?
Just because the mainstream media has been compromised does not mean it cannot be used for disclosure. It is very possible that the mainstream media will begin to be used for the light more and more. And so just because it has been heavily used by the shadow does not mean it cannot be used by the light as well. And so it is very possible that you will begin to see disclosure occurring through the mainstream media, as well as it will continue to occur through alternative news outlets, as well as it has already been occurring for the past years. You will begin to see a shift, dear ones, with how the media operates. More newscasters, more humans that bring forth the news will become whistleblowers, will refuse to participate in the shadow narrative. And so some of these beings will develop their own news outlets or collaborate with established alternative news outlets to share behind the scenes knowledge, or whistleblowing, if you will. When enough of these people shift out of sharing the shadow narrative, the mainstream news outlets will realize that in order to maintain their viewership, they will need to be of more integrity. And so they will then begin to share more actual news, disclosure, things that are real, instead of the theatrics that have been portrayed and perpetuated by the shadow media. This will take some time, up to a few years or so, or it could happen on a faster timeline, again, depending upon how the collective energies receive and integrate the higher frequencies that are coming to the planet. It is very possible that this could shift within a year. And so while many of you have stopped watching the mainstream news, it would be perhaps interesting for you to tune in from time to time just to see the narrative that is being perpetuated and to observe how it shifts in the coming months and years. Not to get sucked into anything, but to stay in 0-point neutrality observation mode. Dear ones, I will conclude by once again encouraging you and inviting you to maintain your grounding. As the frequencies and energies continue to swirl into planet Earth and to stream into planet Earth, they are also doing this in your physical human bodies as well. And it is a high priority that you stay grounded so that you can continue to do the energy service work, as well as continue to execute your soul missions in practicality. For some of you right now, your soul mission expression is the collective energy service work that you have been doing. And for some of you, it is also important that you are able to maintain your day jobs, your careers, etc. And so it is of utmost importance that you find ways to maintain your grounding. And in fact, for some of you, having a 9-to-5 job, for example, is the way that you stay grounded. And so it is important for you not to give this up if this is assisting you in maintaining functionality right now as a human. Now, this will all shift, but for now, these are the energies that are coming to be integrated, and these are the considerations that you must have for your human bodies. It is of utmost importance that you do prioritize care of the human body. And again, remembering that as you work with these energies, also set the intention that they are healing your physical body, rejuvenating your body as well. They do not need to strip your body. They can rejuvenate while you anchor, integrate, and ground the energies. So I thank you, dear ones, for all of you who have been doing this diligent work to integrate and ground the energies. I thank you, dear ones, for all of you who have been doing your inner work to heal your inner child, to heal your wounds, to heal your post-traumatic stress disorder from what you have experienced as a human being in this life or past. I thank you, dear ones, for those who have been diligent in being of great service. These are challenging times, yet they are transformational times and very exciting indeed. And so do your best to enjoy the process, dear ones. I understand it is not always easy, but there is also great joy to be found in the transformation that these times offer. I thank you, dear ones. Thank you, Prime Creator. Wow. I just want to quickly comment on the solstice energies and the importance of grounding. Again, especially for those of you who are new to working with these energies, it is so, so important that you ground, or, you really kind of do lose your ability to be functional when you're not grounded. So the grounding piece is really important. So what I do is I put my bare feet on the ground. I go out into nature. I go into my garden. I lay on the ground. I move my body. I hike in my bare feet. Whatever you can do to stay connected to the earth, to maintain that grounding. And then hydration is very important with grounding. If you're dehydrated, it's really hard to ground because the water holds those electrical frequencies that help to connect you to the water in Mother Earth. And so the hydration is just as important as getting your bare feet on the ground. So alcohol, coffee, tea, none of those things are hydrating. Try to lessen those and increase the water. So much love to you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Thanks for all the service that you've been doing for the planet and for the collective.